match up today? How tough is that? And how is the gap so far between your best and your worst?
Yeah, it's the biggest challenge we've got at the moment. I've spoken about it a few times this year. It was an interesting game today. Like, the biggest punish we had today was on the scoreboard all day. We just couldn't quite stop any of their scoring, and we clearly couldn't score. Pretty big parts of footy, and it was disappointing. Like, you sort of look at the game and our pressure rating, which we chased today, that we were going after that. It was actually a decent number today, quite high, but they were just so good at getting out. And then once they got out of that first phase of defence, they just punished us. They took the ball one end to the other too often. They were able to generate space. They're stacked. They're one of the best teams in the comp, and their numbers all year have shown that. And we got taught a lesson today. And we know all the problems we've got, and we know the challenges we've got, and we know the work we've got to do, and it's going to take some time, but we're going to work.
I know you've only been here for one of the years, but the last few years have been quite tough with a lot of these big losses. A bit worried it's going to start emotionally scarring some of these younger guys who are getting belted every week.
It's you look back at teams over a long period of time, and teams that had seasons like this, and Crows are a good example, right? Look at the Crows now. A lot of the players that are winning in the Crows, top of the ladder, they went through seasons like we've gone through. Right? They had a couple more wins than we've had, but they've had the smashings we've had. So it goes two ways. They either there's too many and it becomes overwhelming and you can't handle it, or you build resilience. And we've got a choice to either learn our lessons from this time in our football club, or to give up. So that's the lesson, and that's the choice we have.
Andrew, I take what you said about how the scoreboard was the obvious difference today. Your pressure rating was, you kept that. But what did you do really well last week? Do you feel that you let yourselves down with this week? Is there anything that stands out to you?
Probably our system of defence we didn't quite get right today. I think it was sort of, I mentioned at the source we were decent, but pretty much once it got outside the source, it felt like we struggled and broke down a little bit. So we'll delve into that and work out why the fluctuation is so large.
Well, over the summer, will skill be one of the bigger focuses, because especially in defence in the first half, I think as a lot of errors seem to cost you guys goals. Yeah,
I think it's a great call. That's at the moment we're a long way off it with our fundamentals of the game. That's for everyone to see. I think that is a huge part of what we need to get to work on, and we need to coach it the right way. We need to educate. We need to train it. We need to spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours training it, because we're off the mark at the moment.
So it is you're confident it could turn around. It's not just the fact that I'm sure there are factors behind the skill. They're AFL footballers, obviously. They've clearly got the talent. Are you confident it can turn around in possibly one off-season?
It'll turn around. Yeah, I'm certain of it. It'll take time. That's what will happen, and we don't want it to take long, but it's what happens, and we're in a rush. We'll do it as quickly as we can, but there's a gap that needs to be closed.
You spoke about the system breaking down defensively, going to 4 goals from, I think it was over 40 inside 50s. It's been a problem a lot this year, but today it was really bad. I know the personnel's not there as well.
Yeah.
Take that into account. But how hard is it at the moment to get that system right?
Yeah, it's 8 points hurts. Like, we had some shots today. We could have put a bit more scoreboard pressure on, but it has been a challenge for us. Reality is, and this is, I'm not making excuses, but Jake Waterman and Oscar Allen make a huge difference. They are elite AFL key forwards. And we have who we think will become an elite AFL key forward in Job Shanahan, and Bailey Williams, who has played the last 6 years as a ruck. So he's still learning his craft as a forward. So, we've got some challenges in that area of the ground, and there's some system that can help. And we've got to find some ways to score a bit easier, because at the moment it's difficult for us.
You've got 1 week left. Sorry, you've got 1 week left, obviously. How do you keep them on track for this week when the end is coming? Because it can be easy to look past that and think that we're not far away from finishing what's been a tough season.
Yeah, we've spoken about this a bit. The end is sort of not real. Like, we're on a journey. We've got one more game for this season, but it's not the end. So we've spoken about, we just want to keep improving and learning the way we want to play. I just spoke to the players about it then. What do you want to get out of next week? And we threw around some answers of what they wanted, and The players are really keen to play our last game in the right way and keep building on what we've tried to do this year. And we're hopeful that gets us a win. That's what we're chasing. We're in this game to get wins, and it's been hard for us this year, but that's what we're trying to do next week.
Talk during the week about the fact your, I guess, leadership group so depleted in the system breaking down defensively. Who are the players you can sort of look to mid-game when that sort of thing's happening?
Yeah, well, that's it. You look to your leaders, right? So we look to our senior players, and behind the ball, we've got Liam Baker, Tom Cole. They're probably our oldest statesmen back there. But then we've got Ruben, who's 21, Rep Bazzo, 22, Sandy Brock, 21, Ryan Marrick, 20. I think that was our back line today. So that's where we're at the moment, and the understanding of that. So I thought that, to be fair, the key backs, our guys did a pretty bloody good job today. Bulldogs probably have the best key forwards in the competition, and they did kick 3 each, those two big boys, but I didn't think they were dominant in the game today. I thought we competed well, considering we were undersized. So the boys did a good, they fought hard down there, but they had nearly 60 entries in the end, so it became a bit overwhelming.
Tell us about the way you used Ruben Kimpy today as well. Obviously, pretty competitive again. There's been a bit of talk about him in the last couple of weeks, how well he's been going, spent a bit of time with Norton. You could have gone either way. What was the decision there?
Yeah, probably size. Like Darcy's 250 centimetres tall or whatever he is, so he's a challenging matchup for most, but he's probably just the gap a little bit too far for Rubes, we thought, and we thought Norton would be a good matchup for him, and I thought it was a good matchup. Like, Norton's a very, very good player in great form. I thought Sandy Brock, who matched up on Darcy, competed really hard as well, and Croft in his first game, showed some good signs for them as well. So, 3 big, tall key forwards they had. I thought we competed hard.
You spoke about that choice earlier, whether you give up or you embrace it and try and win games going forward. Are you looking for that in players too when you're looking to go forward, that mental toughness of, we're not going to give up despite the chips being down?
Yeah, 100%. That's what they're the types of players we need at our football club, and we need to lean into that. We need to spend the summer leaning into ways and competing and learning to win. And we're going to build that into our whole preseason program. We're going to build competition into everything, and we're going to start to learn how to win again, because it's lost at our football club at the moment, and we've got to get the feeling back.
So obviously this is only your first year at the club, but 11 wins over 4 seasons. Historically, it's I think one of the worst records in history. Is the worry that, you just sort of touched on it already, but is the worry that it's been so ingrained in the club that it might be hard to turn that around? Is that one of the biggest challenges you have as a coach to, as you said earlier, to try and learn to win again? Yeah,
well, I think, I sort of did speak to that, and I think it's real. That's how many wins we've had, so somewhere that has an effect, but you also have a choice. And you choose to learn and grow, or you choose to give up. So we'll choose the players who choose to learn to grow.
And firstly, Bailey Williams was one of the highlights of that mark that you took. What did you make of that one?
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, I didn't actually see it. Did he take a good hanger?
There was a hanger.
Yeah, was it? Oh, he can do that, Baz. He takes him at training, so that's good to see. And we know how effective Bailey can be, and it's just he hasn't played a lot of forward. So we tried him. He's growing his game there, and he's showing some signs. So it was good.
You've obviously got one more game left. How do you look at some of those guys that are out of contract, and do you give them a bit of a rev up to say, look, you may only have one game left here, and you've got to push to get a new deal or stay at the club?
Yeah, it won't be about one game for our guys. Like I don't think I'd ever say that to someone, but the nature of footy is people are always out of contract every year. Lists change, so there'll be guys that go off our list this year, like there'll be guys that go off every list, and we'll look to do that in the right way and try and grow and make our team as competitive and start to win games as soon as possible.
You've had the year to implement the game plan. You spoke before about skills and learning to win. Is that going to be the priority this pre-season if the game plan's a little bit more embedded, do you feel?
Yeah, so it's good. We'll go through both parts of it, because we still need to educate our game plan further. But now we've had 12 months doing it, we can start to spend time on narrowing that focus a little bit, and probably what I spoke about before, finding ways to compete and win and keep working on our fundamentals of the game.
Injuries today, all good?
Yeah, we're all good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.